What's good, people? It's your boy Twale here to bring you a review for Kingdom Chapter 504 and 503. I wasn't feeling too well last week, so I decided to skip that chapter. But basically, what happens is Denryuu. Well, no. Let's start with the high Shin unit. Gyo-un is from at the end of 603. Gyo-un, instead of retreating with Banaji, he attacked the high Shin unit. So In decides to boost boost the soldiers around him. He yells at them, Gyo-un is attacking us with his full strength, this, that, and the third, but we're not gonna lose to them. Destroy them. Everybody use your full might. Destroy them, destroy the Zao, this, that, and the third. Rah rah. Day 15, we've been through this already. Now, Kario 10 back at the HQ is like, that's good. Keep everybody pumped up. Keep everybody, rah rah, because they need to get this done as fast as possible. They need to break through the Zhao's left wing as fast as possible. And damn, what happened? She comments that the Zhao are putting up a stronger fight, but the Quinn are still overall doing. The Zhao are putting up a stronger fight than she expected, but the Quinn overall are still ahead. But she notices that Kyokai and Shin, the two people that should be leading the charge and boosting everybody up, they're getting like bogged down in the fighting because both of them are still injured. Both of them are still hurt from the fight against Chogaryu. Shin still has that wound to his ribs, which after doing some rereading, he actually took a similar stab wound from one of Ryufui's men during the State of Ai rebellion when Denryuu, right before Denryuu took the arrows, he got stabbed in the exact same spot in that arc too. So Shin has a habit of getting stabbed in the rib area. But that stab wound is still hurting him. So Garo and Gakurai, they're over there guarding him. And at first Garo was fucking with him, but then he tells Garo that he's gonna keep going until he doesn't feel until he's numb to the pain, and then once he's numb to the pain, he'll be able to fight again and whatever. And Garo gets like nervous, like that's a bad omen for Garo, because it's like that's your body shutting down, like the numbness, the lack of pain, that's your body shutting down on you. But in the world of Kingdom and in Shin's case, near-death experiences will will only make him stronger. Like what won't kill him will only make him stronger. So the fact that he didn't die from that wound will only make him stronger. So him being near death, whether he fights Gyo-un or Hoken, him being near death is only gonna further increase the weight on his shoulders, so to speak. So Garo decides that with Gakure, he's gonna take care. Him and Gakure are gonna take care of the front. At the same time, one of Gyo-un's men notices that that's where Shin is, and Gyo-un sends 3 of his 10 spears to attack Shin with some of the Ryun, and Uhon and the the Gyoku Ho, they come to flank Gyo-un, and then he sends the rest of the 3 spears to stop Uhon. Kanjo and the kid with the bulldog face mask, they're bloodlusted, going after revenge, so they're gonna be taking care of the Ryun most likely, while Uhon and Banyo get to Gyo-un around. I'm assuming around the same time that Shin, or maybe Kyokai, around the same time that Shin gets to Gyo-un. And whether they tag team him, I don't know, but I truly hope that they don't duel, that they don't tag team him. I hope like Uhon steps up and be like, yo, Shin, I'm going to finish what I started. You go and take out Riboku, or something to that effect. But after that, we cut away from the high Shin unit, we go to the center stage where Denryuu is getting his shit handled quite easily, it seems, by Earl Ko, one of the deputies under Riboku that has apparently been serving him for years, but they weren't around for the coalition or Bayou. Just saying. That didn't make no. Like, these guys have been serving him for years, and they only appeared in this arc. Like, again, not at Bayou, not at the Coalition War. Even when he took his personal army to go against Side, no showings of them. But they apparently know his fundamental, like they know his tactics and have them shits down pat. Because Denryuu, like I said, is getting his shit handled. Like the man can't make no leeway. Everything he's trying is just fucking up. And what was surprising was that when we flashed over to Ousen Center HQ, he couldn't even see he couldn't see any weaknesses in this formation. So Riboku and his men A1 giving it to the Zao is just, again, it's just a little shocking that we haven't seen these guys before. But whatever. So Riboku's tactics A1 because even Ousen can't like just pinpoint a weakness like that easily. And he sends out So-Oh. And So-Oh, he sends out So-Oh and 1,000 men to go do some damage to test them out as a probe to go see, like, go, you know what I'm saying, find some type of weaknesses in their formations. And that's where 504 ends with So-Oh and his lieutenant attacking, and that's when it ends. And then we get more commentary from Fute's annoying ass talking about no matter what you do against Riboku's tactics, against Riboku's strategies, you'll never win. It's Riboku. Riboku wins. Riboku's great. That's all. That's basically all he's saying. And that's how the chapter ends. So-Oh goes in, and then Fute says it's useless because it's Riboku's tactics. Then chapter 505 opens up with a flashback from So-Oh and his lieutenant, who's apparently his girl, and her name is Shiryo. Like, I don't want to say Siryu because like that's too close to Kyokai's like clan shit, but like it's Shiryo, whatever her name is. I fucking love the two of them. The two, yo, I hope that the two of them are what Shin and Kyokai grow to be, because my man looks at her after getting the orders from Ousen to take 1,000 men and attack to probe the enemy to see any weaknesses or any to break down their formations. He tells his girl, be on your shit, because Zao is, you know what I'm saying, they're using some type of strange tactics, and the Zao are, you know what I'm saying, they're not to be fucked with. Be on your toes. So she tells him, I know already, and they start, no, first they banter about which one of them is gonna go. She says she'll do it. He says, no, I'm gonna go. They decide to both go. Then he tells her to be on her shit because, like I said, the Zao are using some strange tactics, and they're not to be fucked with. You know what I'm saying? They're pretty good. Then he tells her, save some energy for tonight because we're gonna celebrate in my bed until morning. That type of swag as you're about to enter the battlefield. That type of just like you on your shit because you telling your be on you on your P's and Q's, but that just swag with that one little twirl he got. Like, yo, I fucks with So-Oh. Like right now, out of all of Ousen's fucking commanders, is Akko number one. Akko at the top. A1, yo, that nigga's thug. Then it's So-Oh, because he's just too cool. He's too cool for school. Then it's Denryuu, because I do like Denryuu. And then it would be Mako, because Mako's trash, and you know what I'm saying, the man didn't even hold his own glaive. Like, I'm surprised a trash ass nigga like that made it into Ousen's top 5. Like, for real. That man was so garbage. But I continue. So So-Oh and Shiryu, Shiryu, they go to attack, and they're cutting through. But then the two of them, they diverge and they split. So his girl is taking people out, and the Zao at the HQ are like, yo, that man has a lot of strength. He has a lot of might. And then, Kane corrects them and tells them that that's a female, and that she can tell by the movement, by how she's movements, and like how her, like the movements in her stroke, she can tell that that's a female. So her men are even more shocked that a female is putting out this much power. But that I don't know. Kane should have took that as disrespect because it's like, what the fuck am I, chopped liver? Like, I'm strong too, bitches. So yeah, like y'all follow me and I'm a female, so like, you know what I'm saying? It gets weird. But Shiryu, whatever her name is, she notices that when she comes up against these shield troops, that every time she hits them, they just go limp, and like they allow their bodies to absorb the impact, basically. So she'll swing full force, and because they're letting their bodies like just drop, they're letting their bodies like not drag, but they're just freely like giving up all like tension in their bodies. They're just going with the flow. So as long as they hold their shields and they like cover themselves, they'll just get pushed back, and then they have another layer of troops directly behind them to brace them, and then they have another layer of troops with spears to attack the enemy. So this seems to be like it's an offensive formation, I guess, because like they're marching forward, but it seems to be defensive structured because they're bracing for the impact and then attacking when the enemy is at their most vulnerable, because you're always most vulnerable after you attack. After you get that swing off, that's always when you're most vulnerable. So that, you know what I'm saying, Soo's lieutenant, his girl, notices this, but she also notices that in order to pull something like this off, you either have to have no fear, you have to have no fear and no bloodlust, because if you're like geeked up and you're trying to you're amped up and you're trying to go at your opponent, it'll fuck up the formation. Like, it'll mess up if just one person were to be like afraid or bloodlusted, it would mess up how the formation works. So she notices that these are all top-notch troops because they've all, well, not that they're all top-notch troops, but that they've had A1 training, because they're all able to sustain this state of mind and this like state of body rather relatively easy, even though, you know what I'm saying, she's a strong opponent and that she, you know what I'm saying, she's strong. They're able to hold this formation up against her. So she praises them for their strength, and that's when one of Soo's people notices that her advance has stopped. So Soo, being the good boyfriend that he is, sends 50 riders to go help her. And as soon as he does that, the Zao move in with their shields to like bottleneck the riders. So it kind of like what Kyokai did against Gyo-un on the first day, but in a much closer space. So whenever the cavalry came in, the shield troops will come in from the sides, will come in from the sides, and will come in from the left and right. So they would pincer them in and separate them. So the 50 men that he sent to go help his girl, they got bogged down, and now they have a fight to get to her. And then we switch over to Denryuu, and like I said about last chapter, he was getting his shit handled because every single one of his units are requesting help. And they say that at least 3 of his units were down to half or something like that. So he decides that it's better to withdraw everybody and think, you know what I'm saying, formulate a new strategy than to continue, this and just continue to lose men, because they were already at a disadvantage. I think 50,000 to 30,000 by the time this battle started. So yeah, he didn't want to continuously lose men, so he decided to retreat. But he also sent men to help Soo and his group, because they only had 1,000 men and they were in trouble as well. But then, right as they're like about to retreat, we go over to Ousen's HQ, and my man Ousen peeped game. Don't know what he saw, don't even matter. My man said, "Oh, so that's how it is," and marched his men at the front. He was just sitting there, glaive in hand, like, I don't get what Mako was thinking. Why, yo, you supposed to have your glaive in hand, bruh. Trash ass nigga. But Ousen up front, glaive in hand, and he's marching his 1,000 army corps. He's marching his corps of 10,000 people. So they're marching. Now, everybody on the battlefield is knowing. Kane, Fute, Riboku, Denryuu, So-Oh. Everybody's noticing. And everybody's also noticing that as he's approaching Earl Rai, Earl Rai, because Earl Kou is the one going up against Denryuu right now. So, as he's approaching Earl Rai, Fute on some more lip service, another general serving Riboku for years. His troops know all the same tactics that Earl Kou knows, and Earl Kou knows all of Riboku's tactics. So basically, you're going up against a Riboku clone. Fine. Ousen marches up, and as he's marching up, Earl Rai gets his men into, I guess it's another Great Crane formation. So everybody's like wondering like how Ousen's gonna tackle is what's going on. So-Oh even comments like to himself like, will you use the crane formation that you're so fond of? So Great Crane, I don't know what the difference might be. Maybe Riboku just upgraded the regular crane to the Great Crane using his multi-layered like defensive like shell formation, I guess you would call it. But I'm not entirely sure. But we don't get any of that, because all you see as the Zhao are getting into formation is just Ousen and his men just blocked up. Like, nobody's spreading out. They're not assuming line formations, nothing. They're just in their units marching forward. And Ousen is in the middle column looking like a... I'm sorry, that panel looked so good with him just sitting in the middle and the rest of the army just rolling up in front. Like, it was dope. So, next chapter, please expect some craziness from Ousen, because Ousen seems to be putting in... Like, he seems to be putting in a play that even shocked Riboku, because at the very end of the chapter, you see like the little spark, you know what I'm saying, a little spark icon or whatever, and damn. But anyway, so yeah, expect greatness next chapter. Ousen greatness, because this is the first time that Ousen's entire army has seen the battlefield. Like, there is no holding back, you know what I'm saying, your army is clean the whole time. Like, no, his army is getting down to the nitty gritty this war, and we about to see the man personally. I don't know if we're gonna see him like actually swing his blade to kill somebody. I would love that, but I would much rather see some like grade A tactics going back and forth between him and Riboku. Like him breaking this formation, and then Riboku switching to another formation, and then Ousen being like, alright, since I can see you setting it up, like it's easier for me to decipher, and then he breaks that, and then Riboku tries something else, or Riboku stalls him with the second tactic, but by the time that happens, Shin and them come in flank. Like, yo, it's gonna get crazy in the next couple of chapters, and I just can't wait for the hype. So like, comment, and subscribe, people. Stay tuned for more. Peace.